All right, back here at Gravestone. I'm doing actually an end cap test for suppressors. I think everybody's kind of seen me shoot the BOSS TopShot. So what I did is I have a BOSS TopShot with the factory end cap suppressor. Then I also have a BOSS TopShot with a prototype end cap on it. So it's going to be a little bit more aggressive, hopefully, that we'll be able to see that in the trigger cam footage. And then I also bought a Scythe STM. So it's going to be in the short configuration with the RecoilX on it. So I think this is going to be pretty interesting because, you know, I love shooting suppressed. I tried shooting one match with the muzzle brake again and I hated it. So I'm going back to making sure I shoot suppressed. So now I'm on a kind of adventure to see how flat can I get my muzzle rise. Also talking to everybody, I still have the 6 arc. I still shoot the 6 arc occasionally, but what I'm really testing right now is a 25 GT. So 25 GT is what I'm going to be testing. This will be good. It'll have more recoil because I want to see if I want to shoot like a 25 cal super slow is kind of the general idea. So what I'm going to do, the first test we're going to do is with the 25 GT with the stock TopShot with the factory end cap on it. Then we're going to go to the prototype end cap on it. That way we can kind of compare the two. And then we're going to go to the Scythe with the RecoilX. That way we can kind of compare the two there. Hopefully camera's going to give us pretty good imagery. That way we can go from there. Should be pretty good. Should be a short one, but this will be good for anybody who's wondering, hey, I want to shoot suppressed, but I want to see if it gives me as flat as a muzzle brake might be able to do. So, all right, here we go. All right, 25 GT. These are A-tips. I'm not going to be shooting A-tips. I just wanted to play around with them. So got that. What I'm going to do is there's going to be 3 targets down there. Actually, there's kind of a KYL. I'm just going to shoot the big, the next big, and the next one from there. And then we'll kind of see how it does. I have not checked zero since I put this new muzzle device on, so I'm going to see how good at flat it keeps me. That way I can kind of make corrections based off of that. So we should have 6 shots going down. We'll turn on. Is it recording? All right. It's blinking, so it's recording. So hopefully we're going to catch all this. Here we go. Not going for time or anything. We're just going to go from there. Wind looks like it's coming from our backs there, so I'm going to go probably 2/10 left. Here we go. So I'm going to get at the top. At the top. Go at the top, and you go down. Up. There you go, 25 GT. All right, so now we got the prototype brake on. Same thing, we're gonna shoot 6 rounds at the circles. I went ahead and took a 10th out, so it seems like it was hitting high. We'll see how the 25 GT does with the prototype brake. We're going to go straight up and see what it does. The Ricky brake. I didn't know if you want me to use your name, ding dong. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. Yep, it felt much flatter to me when it was shooting. Yeah, the recoil impulse was sharper, so it wasn't much of as a push, but it did feel flatter as it was going down. I will say this, like I was getting air coming back on me. It was almost like a breeze hit me, where the factory does not do that. But as far as recoil pulse and recoil mitigation, yeah, it was fantastic. Like getting on it, I was actually seeing exactly where it would hit, even though the plates kind of shot up, I was seeing it. So yeah, we'll kind of go back and slow-mo these things, that way we can check them out, but it looks pretty good to me. So. All right, got the Scythe on there. I have no idea about what it's gonna do for point of impact change, but my buddy Neil and I were just talking, and I think there's a philosophy behind suppressors that I think people are slowly starting to get onto, and I could be wrong, but I think most of us that are shooting suppressors are kind of going to the Morgan King camp, if you will, because I like Morgan's most recent podcast. He said, like, he doesn't really care how far the reticle moves, as long as he can see it, as long as it comes to a stop really quick and he can see what happens on plate. So that's where I'm at when it comes to a suppressor. I don't judge how much it's rising or what it's doing. I judge how quickly it goes up and comes to a stop. And hopefully we'll see in the video, it could be full of shit, but hopefully we'll see in the video that I just let it recoil and that is what it is, and then I try to see what's happening downrange. So yeah, hopefully that it kind of explains it. I don't think you'll ever get a suppressor to run exactly like a muzzle brake. It doesn't have as much pressure, it doesn't have this, but what I'm trying to do is get rid of that concussion, right? I feel like I can see so much more. In a previous life, I had to deal with a lot of concussion, a lot of overpressure, and it kind of keeps up with me these days. So this is a huge moment for me to try to think about, like, how can I lower the concussion but still get brake-like performance? Not saying brake performance, but brake-like performance. So, all right, Scythe with a RecoilX. Hope I didn't waste a bunch of money here. All right. I got a feeling I did, but whatever. All right, here we go. STM short configuration. I saw it hit low left, so I'm going to go high right. Dead center. On the left, so I'm going to go left edge. I'll be very interested in a look at the footage. To me, the Ricky prototype brake, and I'm not saying this because he's my friend, by the way, the Ricky prototype brake felt more of a snap. It felt so close to a muzzle brace where just the recoil impulse was done, like it just got done. Where this one felt, honestly, the RecoilX feels very, very, very similar to the Scythe with the RecoilX, feels very, very similar to the TopShot with the factory end cap. And I think that's probably, I'm making stuff up here, but I think that's probably because the TopShot is designed for competition, so it's a little bit more narrow, it moves more air, and it has that end cap be more effective, so to speak, especially with Ricky's prototype, because I can feel the air hitting me. So I think this one, with the design of the RecoilX and the chambers of the Scythe, it's just slowing down the air, and it feels like more of a push, like a push instead of like a snap, like a muzzle brake. So I'll be very interested to see what the video looks like, but I can tell you just from my recollection here, it really does feel like the Ricky prototype brake is as close to what I've experienced feeling like a brake with a suppressor type setup. So I don't know, man, it's going to be super interesting. Look at this stuff. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to try to check out the 25 GT, but I can tell you right now, especially with the prototype brake, I feel like I can shoot this around 2650 feet per second with 135, 138 grain bullet, and I feel like I can see everything, right? So maybe more to come on the 25. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks, guys. Third-party validation. My buddy Neil, who was my AM at Gap Grind a few years ago, is actually going to shoot it, so we'll see how he does it. He is a righty shooting a lefty gun, so we'll see. Yeah, it kills your eye box. Two-stage, 1 pound.
Well, that was a good free recoil. I've been shooting my 6th Creed with the Scythe TI with the RecoilX. This feels more like a brake than that to me. And I wonder if it's because it has less volume or something.
Probably. Ricky, you want to take a couple shots out of 25?
No, it's really snappy. Like
it feels very much like a brake.
Yeah.
Like it feels like a brake. All right, now it's time for the Scythe. There, and you'll need to hold probably a 10th right if mine was hitting where it was. Put some shoulder into it. You can't do like you do with the sixes. Just put a little bit of shoulder into it. You can't, because on my 6 I almost put no shoulder into it. I just catch it. Where this you have to do a little bit more. I don't shoulder it, but
man, this recoil impulse is definitely not as quick as the Ricky on the other one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it feels like I can see more with this than I was seeing with my 6 Creed. I'm more comparing this to the 6 Creed with the Scythe TI with the same brake.
Well, that's interesting, and the reason why is because I've got this going down to 2650.
Yeah.
So my idea here was, thinking about the 25 GT, my idea was, how do I get a bigger bullet that still carries more energy than the Dasher? But with my super old eyes, my Dasher is running 2720, or I'm sorry, 2820. This slows down all the way to 2650, carries more energy on target, still has better wind deflection, not by much, but still has better wind deflection. And now the bullet's traveling a lot slower. That's why I'm trying to find the appropriate in-cap device for a suppressor. That way I get as close to everything I want. I don't have the concussion. I have controlled muzzle rise. I have a slow bullet with high energy on target.
The biggest anecdotal thing I could say to this is I had enough time to see what happened on the plate with my recoil shooting left-handed.
Yep, and this was 530 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I shoot one right
now?
Yeah,
we got to burn through this ammo anyway. I'm not shooting A-tips, so.
I feel like I'm in the action with my face.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay. You said a 10th right?
Yeah, that should be about right. Doesn't finish enough.
It's definitely softer shooting than my Creed.
It's softer shooting than your 6 Creed. It should be a little bit more effective because the STM short configuration is shorter than your TI. Uh-oh.
That was me. Cut.
Cut.
You can shoot if you want to. Actually, I don't want to end on a miss.
Yeah, go ahead. We've got a couple more in there. Get some impacts.
Bad juju.
Bad juju. But a 18,000 round impact action.
Yeah, it's Thomas. He took like one shot with mine and was like, "Neil, I'm gonna buy you an impact." Yeah.
Hits with authority.
The speed thing is, I think that what I'm seeing more than anything is.
All right, one more. I'm gonna see if I can hit the small one.
That Creedmoor is just so fast. You have to be back on target immediately.
Oh man, I don't know where this is hitting on plate. We're gonna try dead center and see what happens. Oh, caught the right edge.
Nice.
There you go. Testing done. I'll try to edit this tonight. That way we can look at it.
Sweet.
All right, just got done editing the first portion of it. Not really editing, just putting it together. Actually, just got done getting back from the doctor. So I just shot the match today and everything you just saw with a full-blown sinus infection. So that's awesome. But I want to, after reviewing everything, I just want to kind of look at it and add a little bit more color to it, so to speak. First, I want to make sure that people have come and talked to me about BOSS and the suppressors that they have for quite some time, ever since I've started posting about them. It's great when people come and talk to me at matches. It's super cool. I just want to make sure everybody's clear. Is like, I am not affiliated with BOSS. I have not got any monetary compensation or anything about that as far as recommending it. I just went with BOSS's. I saw them at, I believe it was one of the gap grinds, and I knew I wanted to get away from muzzle brakes, and I was really intrigued on their design. So when their design came out, I would argue that it was kind of one of the leaders in that space. So it was the Maverick and then a BOSS TopShot were really kind of more competition focused. They were smaller diameter, shorter tubes, pushed more air to try to have that end cap go. Because I think there's like two schools of thought around here. And some of my friends are really very, very vocal around, I don't like how loud your suppressor is, right? Because they view a suppressor as extremely quiet. They want it quiet. Where that's not what I'm trying to accomplish. Kind of like what I said in the video. What I want to get rid of the concussion. I don't want the concussion to hit me. I don't care about volume. I have Ear Pro for that. So I'm in the camp of, as long as it's reducing that overpressure coming back to me, I'm fine with that, because I would never shoot a can without ears anyway because of the supersonic crack. I'm not going to do it, right? So I believe that the Maverick and the TopShot was one of the first ones to say, we're building something really tailored toward competition. The second thing I want to talk about is like, if you talk about Ricky's prototype brake, I was getting blast coming back to me, and I don't know if it's the sinus infection that I'm dealing with right now, but I'm not sure if I'm 100% down with that, right? I would like to maybe, if I had to do it, if I was the one designing it, I would probably try to find the middle ground between the RecoilX and maybe the Ricky prototype, to where it's still got those aggressive ports and it's driving the air up to try to keep that muzzle down, but maybe keep the blast away from the shooter. Again, I don't know if it's because of the sinus stuff, but that's the way I'm feeling right now. I will say that I'm going to go shoot gap. I'm going to take the TopShot, and I am going to take Ricky's prototype brake. That way we could do that, and I want to give it more time when I don't have a sinus infection over a 2-day match and see how I feel as far as that's concerned. So after that's there, I'll probably do like an update and be able to share it with everybody. But if I was to rank everything, now I have some time to think about it and watch the videos and things like that, I think from a performance overall ranking side, I would say the TopShot with the Ricky prototype would be my number one. Recoil impulse was quick, sharp, not very violent at all, even with the 25. And it kept it really flat, like it didn't move that much. So I was really stopped and I was able to see what happened. On the second one, I would honestly probably still do the BOSS TopShot with the normal end cap. And then I would do the Scythe STM in the short configuration with the RecoilX, although the second and third are really, really close. This is kind of what I'd recommend to anybody, is that if you already have a Scythe, just buy the RecoilX. It's like $275 and it's going to really change the way that thing shoots. If you're talking about getting into the suppressor game, I don't think you can really go wrong with the BOSS or with the Scythe with the RecoilX. Both of them performed, as you saw in the video, pretty close to one another. I will say that the RecoilX on the Scythe does have an advantage because the Scythe STM is 2 configurations. So that means if I want to go shoot Silent Night or something like that, I can have that. And it still meets the requirements, because the TopShot or the Maverick in the short configuration does not meet the requirements of those suppressor only matches, which is pretty important to keep in mind of. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I just wanted to add a little bit of flavor to the end of that there. My affiliation as far as BOSS is concerned, which is none. And then also kind of like my rankings where everything's set, and go from there. But I'm really looking forward to getting Ricky's prototype up there. Oh, I do want to add, Ricky made a small batch of the prototypes. They're not for sale online or anything along those lines. So if anybody does have the TopShot and they're kind of interested in that type of design, just DM me or something like that. I can get you in contact and we can kind of see that. Because Ricky made a small batch of them just for us to kind of test and see what we thought. So that being said, I'll end it here. You guys reach out if you have any questions. Appreciate you.